Day of the Dead Bloodline is a of the Dead film that isn't directed by George A. Romero, and it doesn't have any links to any of the other spin-off of the Dead films. So there was a Dawn of the Dead film with Ving Rhames and Mena Suvari some years ago. This has nothing to do with it. This does emulate some parts of the original Day of the Dead film, in that it's in a military installation set sometime after the initial outbreak. There are doctors working on cures, vaccines, ways to control the dead. The trouble is, it is one of the most badly acted films I've seen in a long time. From the start, all of the human characters are simply saying their lines. You can actually see them almost reading it off a board behind someone's head. They just say their lines. The only people who act are the zombie actors. They do a great job in being zombies, hobbling around, and they look great and they act great. Even the main zombie, he is really good and really trying, but all of the human actors just give him nothing. And I'm not quite sure whether they're friends of the people behind the production, or whether there just was no real rehearsal, or if the script was being written on set as they were doing it. I wouldn't imagine so with a film that relies on some element of special effects, but it just feels really, really poorly directed and acted. It starts off with a scene of a girl running down the road screaming as there's a zombie outbreak occurring, and then immediately cuts to 72 hours previous, where you see her at medical school and at the outbreak occurring as a patient who she's taking blood samples of, who had elevated antibody counts, has carved his name into his forearm. He promptly gets bitten by a zombie as this outbreak occurs, and then we cut to, I can't remember how many, let's say 3 years later or 2 years later, and she's at this military base as the head doctor, because she's one of the few trained medical personnel left. They go out on trips for scavenging runs. Someone gets ill, so they have to go a bit further and go back to her old university hospital. There they encounter the weirdo, who is a zombie but with some cognitive function. They take him back to experiment on, and he acts a lot like the zombie in the original Day of the Dead film, where he's got some evidence of higher function. And then, to be honest, you're meant to dislike all of the senior military characters, and they're meant to be the bad guys, and you're meant to like and root for the young doctor woman. Really, she just acts like a bit of a dick throughout the rest of the film, and won't really fill anyone in on who this guy is and what he is, whereas if she did, no one would have a problem with her. Instead, the military guys are left wondering about her actions and trying to protect the last remnants of humanity, and you can't fault the guy in charge for any of his actions, really. And then, as you might expect, the zombie escapes and everything goes to pot. It ends up with her somehow managing to defeat the zombie all by herself, and there being a sort of voiceover saying that she's discovered a vaccine and there will now be a potential future cure for the zombie outbreak. That's it. Is it worth watching? Yeah, I suppose it is. If you like these zombie films, you can get it free on streaming. Is it worth tracking down and trying to get if you can't find it easily anywhere? No. It's worth watching for the bad acting alone. I think it's going to be remembered for that, but not much else. Oh, the special effects are quite good as well, and you'll notice that the set for the street scene that is used over and over again in this is used in a lot of other sort of B movies. The one that came to mind was a martial arts film I've reviewed previously called Ninja. It's clearly the same set for that street scene that they have there, shot from a different angle, but it's quite funny just to see the same layout turn up in different films. I also think it might be one that was used in Baby Driver as well, but I'm not 100% on that. So yeah, Day of the Dead Bloodline. Watch it if you like your zombie films and a bit of a completionist for the Of the Dead series.